Hey there, everybody, and welcome in to episode 7 of Let's Talk About, with today's topic being food. Today's thumbnail of choice, I just randomly found a picture online for my all time favorite food, pepperoni pizza. This is something that I could eat pretty much every single day of my life from a million different places and never get sick of it. I have a few topics to go over today that I actually made a little note document for just so I don't get sidetracked much anyway. You guys know how I am. I'm sure I'll go off on a tangent at some point. But what I do want to talk about, though, at least my main topics here are being, of course, my favorite food, which I already went over as pizza, which I'll, of course, delve into more here in a sec. I also want to go over some of my personal favorite meals that I've had from over the years and other, not only foods in general, but like desserts and savory things, etc., etc. And then also the topic of cooking, which I have a lot to say about that. And then that'll kind of shift into my further topic, which will be how I got into liking food so much in general. This goes back quite a few years to when I was really started kicking in as a teenager, when I really started having starting getting a better interest in food there, from watching Food Network and such, but that's a later topic. Circling back, pepperoni pizza. One of my favorite things about pizza is just how versatile it can be. You have your basic crust you can use as obviously your pretty much your canvas, really. You don't have to just use a basic marinara sauce if you don't want. You can go with like a pesto, a cheddar sauce, an Alfredo sauce, a barbecue sauce, a chili sauce, Mexican style sauce, a taco sauce there. The world is your oyster for pizza and then some. You're able to top it with essentially whatever you want. Like if you like meat, ham, bacon, pepperoni, sausage, ground beef, ground chicken, steak, cut up meatballs. The list just goes on there. You can mix up different cheeses: cheddar, mozzarella, parm, provolone. Any of those make a fantastic cheese blend. And other toppings. Pretty much every veggie under the sun can be good. Fruits can go on there as well. I will say pineapple can go on pizza if people like. I'm one of those people that, while I don't partake myself, I've never had it myself before, I will say. But if people want to put pineapple on pizza, go for it. People are so weird about hating that sort of thing. Like, let people do what they want. I can see the appeal of it though myself, honestly, looking at a impartial stance here, especially if you pair it with pepperoni, because you have that sweet, salty, spicy combo there that can work super, super well together. And I actually do want to give it a legitimate shot myself sometimes, so I can speak more on that front. But that's just in kind of an outsider's take on that there. I don't want to go off too much on a rant about that, but let people like what they like. Pizza is something that I've been having just so often from over the years. Of course, from like your classic local chains like Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, stuff like that. And then more specialized into like local chains, so like Blaze Pizza or Marco's or Romeo's Pizza. Because I've been living in a good few places throughout the U.S. in my life, um, and yet in the last handful of years have I finally started trying the not really specialty places, but like a step up from your classic chains. Or not that the other chains are bad. I don't think so anyway. Like I will still happily tear down like a pepperoni pizza from any of the like again the classic chains there. There's just something about like a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut, let's say, and getting a glass of Mountain Dew and those classic red plastic cups that some places may even still have, and then playing like a Ninja Turtles game at the arcade when you're like 9 or 10 years old. Those are just the best. Those are just the best. Even nowadays, I'll still get a personal pan pizza every now and then just because they're so good and nostalgic. I actually make myself hungry right now for pizza. We actually just had some earlier today, funnily enough. We make ours, we have this combination air fryer slash grill, and we'll use crescent roll dough. We'll just buy the tube of Pillsbury dough, and we'll just roll it out, cut it in half, so it's essentially one big rectangular slice for my brother and I. And then we'll just do super basic sauce, cheese, pepperoni. All we do for that is we'll set our grill to like 500 degrees. We'll cook the first side for like 2 minutes. We'll pull it out, flip it over, sauce, cheese, pepperoni. Throw it right back in for 2 more minutes, and it's done. It takes longer for the grill to heat up to 500 than it does to actually cook the pizzas. And as simple as they are really, really good. The cheese hits perfectly melted. The pepperoni, as you can see, like in the picture here, we don't use the actual cup pepperoni. We buy turkey pepperoni, which to us tastes just as good as the normal stuff. Maybe even better? Question mark. It's really just as good, honestly. Um, yeah, crisp up around the edges there and starts to cup up there. So you have that mixed with the soft melty cheese, and then you have the light flaky buttery crust of the croissant dough, which is rather odd, not an odd, a unique choice for pizza crust, but it works exceptionally well. It's one of our favorite things to make in our air fryer grill we have. And we have so many leftovers as well for the sauce, cheese, and pepperoni that we're going to be getting more crescent roll dough tomorrow, just to make them again for how good they are. Yeah, pizza is just one of those things I legitimately could have from a different place like every single day of the week. Like just a slice from like a different place, like Papa John's one day, and then Pizza Hut the next, then Domino's the next, then Marco's the next, then Romeo's the next, and then somewhere else the next. And even places that don't normally specify in just pizza but still offer it. If I had to pick like a favorite pizza I've ever had, normally this would be difficult, but it's actually a pretty easy call. A few years back when we first lived here in Ohio, Romeo's Pizza offered their take on the Detroit style deep dish pizza. So they have like it's a rectangular crust that actually has the cheese go on top of the dough before the sauce. And the sauce, which is normally a sweeter style sauce, I believe, or at least it was at Romeo's, which is also a local-ish chain here in Ohio. They just do the sauce in just two straight lines down the crust there, or down the whole pizza. So you have a really nice contrast in bites there as well, as you'll have some bites that are full-on sauce with the toppings there, and other ones that'll be very light on the sauce. And then you have the super, super like well-fried crust around the outside there, which is incredibly crispy and crunchy to go with all the soft, almost like cakey texture, which is almost sounds weird for a pizza. But that contrast between the two just works exceptionally well. What's such a bummer, though, is that Romeo's doesn't sell it anymore. I don't know why. That would always be our go-to pizza whenever we'd order from them, so it's kind of a real bummer that they don't offer it anymore. It's probably just because, oh, people didn't really buy it that well, so we took it off the menu. It's all about money, I'm sure. It's kind of a bummer. It also maybe could have been a seasonal thing for all I know. So maybe they'll bring it back. I would absolutely love that. But we still get our pizza fits from every now and then from good places around here still. Tying in also my favorite meal there into other favorite meals I have, a personal one I have on here, something our mom makes for us a lot. Also, we made for ourselves too, more so. She actually found this recipe in a old magazine from years and years back. So you take the King's Hawaiian sandwich buns, right? The little mini ones that come in a 12-pack there. You cut them in half, and then you put in some ham and some really any cheese you want. We normally just use like a Colby Jack cheese, it's the already pre-sliced stuff. And then we'll top that with a mixture of a little bit of butter, Worcestershire sauce, and Parmesan cheese that gets poured all over the top of the sandwiches. They debate covered with foil on top for about 15 minutes-ish, 15 to 17 or 18. And then it goes uncovered for a few more minutes just to like crisp out the top of the buns there and really get the butter mixture baked into the buns themselves. They are absolutely exceptional. The very first time we made them, though, I think the recipe also called for cream cheese to be put in. And it was good, but it got almost like kind of too messy. Like the cream cheese kind of melted a little too much and just kind of made it like a really overly ooey gooey saucy kind of mess there. So we make them without the cream cheese. Although granted, we could always just, if we really wanted to, just use less cream cheese than whatever it called for. But every time we make them now, we just do it without the cream cheese, and they are, like I said, absolutely exceptional. They're so easy to put together. It takes like maybe 10 minutes of active prep, if that. You're just getting the buns sliced, the ham and cheese on top, getting the butter mixture prepared, and then you're good to go. It takes longer for them to bake than anything else, really. And alongside that, we actually had the whole meal, not just the sandwiches here. I had this for one of my birthdays a few years back. Actually, my 29th birthday. In particular, I recall this because it's also when I got my Pioneer Arcades tattoo. I stayed over at my mom's the night before because I got the tattoo in Pittsburgh the next day. So we had the ham and cheese sandwiches. It was my birthday, like I said. So we had fun birthday dinner beforehand. My mom also made super, super thin and crispy homemade garlic parm chips. She hand sliced the potatoes herself on a mandolin, seasoned very simply with just garlic powder, Parmesan cheese, and parsley. Cooked up in no time in the oil there. They were so, so, so good. I would have eaten a whole platter of those by myself had I been able to. But I didn't. I wanted to, but didn't. And for dessert, we also had one of my favorite desserts ever, mixed berry trifle. Super easy recipe. All it is, it's just layers of pound cake or angel food cake with a mixture of vanilla pudding and whipped cream, and then strawberries and blueberries. So it's just cake, the cream mixture, the berries, etc., until you're all out. It is such a perfect summertime dessert for the red and blue colors there for like the 4th of July party or whatever. It's also just so cool and refreshing as well with the Cool Whip and the not whipped cream, vanilla pudding in there. I can eat so much of that in an unhealthy amount in one sitting. It is just so, so good. You have the strawberries and blueberries there that cut through the richness of the vanilla pudding and the Cool Whip there. Yeah, super soft, light angel food cake. You can barely even tell it's there for how light it is. Just one of my favorite desserts ever, ever, ever. I haven't actually made it in a good while, come to think of it, but we definitely will soon because it makes you have a big trifle dish to fill it with, so you have a lot of it around, and it usually keeps pretty well too. A good couple of weeks in the fridge normally. It doesn't last that long in most cases, but it's good to know that it can last that long if you need it to. Then moving on to other favorite foods of mine. I just like food in general. Like so many things there I can just snack on. What personal favorite snack that I've actually been hooked on the last only kind of recently. They're from the Lance brand, I believe. Those little cream cheese and chive crackers you'll see in the 6 pack or the 4 pack there. I can put down so many of those. I usually have a pack a day, honestly, either like with breakfast or a snack at some point throughout the day. They couldn't be simpler. Just little square saltine crackers with a mixture, just the cream cheese and chive. That's literally all they are. But the chive is just such a nice mild onion taste in the background there. It's not overpowering at all. It's a nice little hit of onion to go along with the soft, creamy cream cheese there. They're such a perfect little snack, like this kind of mid-afternoon snack that kind of tied you over until dinner. We actually just got a big pack of those the other day, a 20 pack of them that have 6 crackers in each pack there. So we are plenty good on those for a while. Also, leading more towards the snack food stuff here again. Definitely my all-time favorite snack ever, and this will probably never change. Snyder of Berlin barbecue chips. These have a nostalgic factor for me here as well. I've been having them throughout my days in like really high school onward, and even really before that. I would have these things on the side with my lunch pretty much every single day. We would always have these around at home growing up. Those with a peanut butter sandwich, some apples or applesauce or grapes or some sort of fruit there alongside. Usually like a Capri Sun juice pouch thing, or like one of those the high C burst thingies, or any other juice drink. Alongside also some like Chips Ahoy or Oreos there, the nice full spread. Those chips I can just put down so easily. It would also be one of my favorite snacks to have after getting home from school. I'd usually have those with like some chocolate milk or a can of Mountain Dew or Pepsi if we had that around, or apple juice or iced tea. They just go so well with so many drinks there because the perfect balance of like sweet and kind of a little bit spicy-ish with the barbecue, but like not overly so, but like the tangy as well with all the seasonings they have on there. I want some right now. I don't know where in Ohio sells them. I'm trying to think. I've had them around before. I think maybe Dollar General has them. Maybe Walmart would. Or Where else? Giant needle might possibly. I don't know for sure. But yeah, I really want them again. They're just, to me, they are the best chip ever. Now, of course, there's a million other chip flavors out there that are top tier. Sour cream and onion. People, of course, love salt and vinegar. Cheddar and sour cream is, oh my god, that is extremely top tier. I could go for some of those right about now. Let's move on to also some of the sweeter side of my favorite foods. Um, Lately, I have been super hooked on this Nutella and sea salt fudge I've been making the last couple of times. I actually got the recipe from a channel on Instagram and Facebook, Cooking in the Midwest. All it is it's a cup of Nutella, which is a chocolate and hazelnut spread, like essentially like peanut butter, but way thicker. Um, a little bit of a little bit of butter, vanilla extract, and some form of chocolate. I think they used bittersweet chocolate chips. I couldn't get any at the time when I made these two batches before, so I just got a dark chocolate Hershey bar, like a big one, and I actually just broke that up into really small pieces to put into the mix. And then all you do, you just put it in the microwave for just a few seconds to melt everything together and stir it after each instance. It only goes for about 2 or 3 minutes total. Put it in a square pan to get the shape, and you top it with a whole bunch of sea salt. Let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours. This has been a trend with all the food I've mentioned so far. I can put down so much of that in one sitting. It's such a cool combo of the sweet and the salty, and then a little bit of the undertones of the dark chocolate there too. Obviously, it is pretty rich with having the whole bunch of Nutella. And also sweetened condensed milk. I forgot to mention that. That's kind of key in fudge there. But it has such a silky smooth texture. And you did the little pops of salt along the way there as well. You did like the big flaked sea salt to put on top. I have one of those McCormick sea salt grinders. And I put a good bit on there because the fudge is pretty thick. So you need that good bit of salt to counteract all the sweet there. And it is such an exceptional balance. We actually have some fudge in our fridge right now, but we made a peanut butter fudge this time. Definitely a lighter, softer texture. It's almost like akin to taffy. But like a lighter, softer taffy, because of course peanut butter is a lot thinner in texture in comparison to Nutella. Still super good though. But I think for me, I prefer the Nutella and sea salt fudge, and I will definitely make more of that here in the near future. But we'll want to finish the peanut butter fudge first before we do that. It's been nice just to have around. We'll cut out a little square at a time whenever we want some. So that's always nice just to have around as a little treat. But as far as my absolute favorite dessert goes, it's got to be apple pie. I love apples in general, especially Honeycrisp. Those have been like my new favorite apple that we keep around all the time these days. Yeah, good old slice of apple pie and a big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Essentially, especially the pie being right out of the oven, super warm, with the ice cream on top to melt all over it. And also, I prefer like a cinnamon sugar streusel topping on top, and a nice glass of milk alongside, and I am set. I can just sit down in a nice comfy chair or at the dining room table or whatever and just eat a whole pie in one sitting. All these foods are making me so hungry right now. I may have to grab a snack after I'm done eating. I've only actually ever made a homemade apple pie, I think once, and this was quite a few years back. Normally, whenever we have the pie, we just go over to our mom's and she'll just buy an already made one. It's still a very good one, mind you. That's something I would really like to do sometime, would be like to actually make the apple filling from scratch, make the dough from scratch, and all that. Definitely someday. We've been cooking a lot more since we've been back here in Ohio the last month or so. So that'll probably be on our itinerary to make at some point as well. I don't know when, but soon. So that takes care of. I mean, I could still go on and on and on, but I have other things I want to mention in the video here today too. So how we really got into food like in general and also in cooking there. I have kind of thought about getting into cooking more, like getting into culinary school, especially when I was younger. I've kind of fallen away from that. I haven't also really given it much thought lately. Definitely still in the back of my mind to do, I would say. And also, props to people. I mean, cooking can be, not can be, it is a very hard profession. I've seen so many chefs on TV and such there. They are working like 6 days a week, 16 hours a week at their restaurants or wherever they work. Um, it could be like on a cruise ship or wherever. Yeah, the hours can be brutal, but the things I've seen people make on these like high end Michelin star restaurants and multiple Michelin star restaurants, the things people can do with food are absolutely astounding. It shows a true talent of a chef in my mind if they can take a simple thing, say like a plain like roasted chicken and some vegetables, and make it one of the most sublime things you'll ever eat in your entire life. That's when you know a chef really knows the ingredients inside and out. They know the best way to prepare them, the best way to season them, the best way to serve them. It's crazy to me. Like I've watched a lot of food on TV and such there too. I've watched that stuff on the Travel Channel, Food Network, Cooking Channel, stuff on YouTube. Which actually these will also be my next topic getting into here as well. Um, yeah, people have just made exceptional things on TV over the years, and I would love to go to like really fancy restaurants too, and just sample all that stuff there. Preferably somebody else pays. That'd be the way to do it. But yeah, I've been watching stuff on Food Network and such here for quite a few years. I really started watching Food Network. That got me really into food and such. Um, Geez, probably when I was like 12 or 13, I would say. This was back when like we just had this standard cable, so you had no like HD TV or anything like that. Um, at least back where I lived in Pennsylvania, it was always channel 16. It had this a little TV in my room initially, then upgraded to like a big black CRTV, um, with digital TV and all that stuff there, like in 480p quality. It was insanely high def back then. But I always get home from school, grab a little snack of like some chips and a drink or whatever, or a soft pretzel or peanut butter crackers and chocolate milk, and put on Food Network. Usually when I get home around 3:30 or so, I think Sarah Moulton would be on Food Network then. What was her show called? I don't remember. But that would go into Paula Dean's her show at 4 o'clock there. This is also back when Food Network actually showed half-hour shows a lot more often, whereas now it's just like stupid competition shows everywhere. It's like, who can bake this cake upside down blindfolded in 2 seconds? Like, I don't fucking care about that. I used to like the competition shows on Food Network years back, like Iron Chef America, and Chopped. Before that got extremely overdone and just ran its course. It should have been canceled forever ago because they're entirely out of ideas for new stuff, and people still watch that crap for some reason. Also, all the dumb baking shows there. Halloween baking championships, spring baking championships, summer baking championship, kids baking. Oh my god, I can't stand it. It's just not my thing. As much as I love food, I don't like food competition anymore. I used to, like I said, years back. Also, Top Chef on Bravo. I would never miss an episode of that when it was on back in the day. Is it even still on? We cut actual cable forever ago. We just do live streaming with Discovery Plus these days. So I have no idea what's even on anymore for the most part. But yeah, it's just all the same crap over and over again. All the same forced drama. I was like, oh no, my cake fell over. Oh my god, I cannot believe this happened. It was staged, I'm sure. It's just, oh my god, I can't stand it. I just miss it. I just miss the classic half-hour cooking shows where they showed actual cooking. Call me a boomer. I know I sound like one right now. Yeah, the days of like Giada De Laurentiis, Rachel Ray, Sarah Moulton, Michael Chiarello, Bobby Flay, even when Emerald was still in his prime for Emerald Live. Then yeah, Jeff Morrow. Many more people I could name. Also, yeah, Pioneer Woman. Um, just all of those great shows. Some of them I can still watch them on demand whenever I want, and I generally do. We'll just have whole seasons of like Pioneer Woman or Girl Meets Farm or 30-Minute Meals or any number of shows. Also, Good Eats, another classic one there. We'll just put on season 1, episode 1, and just let it play through the entire way, and then just go to a different show after that. And there's so many shows on there to do for on demand that we have like near infinite possibilities that we can watch there. Also, Tyler Florence, How to Boil Water, Tyler's Ultimate. Just so many great shows back then. Just the classic half-hour cooking shows that just showed you how to cook. Like, hey, here's a roast chicken. Let's go ahead and break down this chicken, how to season it, how to prepare it, and like they showed you how to actually cook. Imagine that, right? Now, to be fair, Food Network still does show like the half-hour cooking shows there, generally on weekends, and then like I think sometimes during the day, like during the weekdays for like a little while. But then they'll just go into like the same crap, like Chopped reruns and Halloween or whatever season baking crap they're still doing these days, or whatever garbage like that. So I'm like, nope, click away from that. No, thank you. One of those things that, yeah, I just miss the old days of that. But thankfully, yeah, with Discovery Plus, we can just pull up those old episodes to watch whenever we want. We're currently going through. What did we have on before I went into bed? Oh yeah, Good Eats with Alton Brown. There we pulled that up. Season 1, episode 1. There were like 16 seasons of the show, I think. I think 12 or so, and then he took a little hiatus, and then they had some newer ones from like a handful of years back, maybe like 8-ish years ago, maybe actually no, less than that, 5 or so years back, I want to say. Those were the days. But also, I've been watching a lot of food stuff on YouTube here as well. The last, I'd say 3 or 4 years now, I've been watching a food YouTuber named Brian Leiderstrom. He had put out videos. At first, it was every Thursday he put them out. Then recently, he switched to an every Sunday upload. But he's actually on hiatus now, unfortunately. Just kind of, he's dealing with some burnout stuff there, which I totally get as far as like videos and stuff goes. He's also a very talented chef. He had worked as a baker to start out. Well, did he as a baker first or a line cook? I forget which one he did first. But he was a really talented line cook, and also worked at a bakery in St. Louis called Union Loafers. And now, yeah, he's been doing food YouTube stuff for around 5 years or so now, I think. He's put out a ton of great content. I have watched pretty much all of his videos, and multiple times at that. One of my favorites, Carne Asada Tacos, he's done just recently. I loved that one. Ultimate Brownies he made before. For the brownie video in particular, he made over 100 different batches of brownies to get like what he considered the ultimate one. The best like texture between cakey and fudgy, the best chocolate level. He tested all sorts of different ingredients with like different amounts of chocolate and like different amounts and different kinds of chocolate, other additional sweeteners, some with coffee to kind of enhance the chocolate flavor, etc., etc. And I also love brownies, by the way. I didn't say so earlier. I should have. But probably my all-time favorite video of his was his garlic bread 2 ways video. The first way is just take your standard loaf of like French bread or what have you, and he made a really cool herby garlic butter mixture. Obviously butter, garlic, parsley, other fresh herbs. I think he used thyme and did he use rosemary? I think he used rosemary as well. It's a whole bunch of that. Rubbed it all over both sides of the bread. Topped it with Parmesan cheese before he baked it. And then after the bake, he put on even more Parmesan on top of that. So you have like the crispy, more baked Parm flavor at first, and then also you have the fresh hit of the more, fresh Parmesan cheese to blend with that. And then he also made pull apart garlic Parmesan knots, which, oh my god, they looked insanely good. He baked them actually in a square brownie pan there. Metal in particular, because with a metal pan, it actually gets a lot hotter and crisps up the edges of the knots more than like say a glass pan would. It doesn't retain heat as well. So you did like a really nice like crispy kind of fried exterior to go with the super light fluffy soft interior. And of course, you have a brush with garlic butter on top because they have to be, right? Haven't made those myself yet, but I really want to. But yeah, now since we're back in our place here in Ohio, we have so much more space in our kitchen to cook in, thankfully, because our last kitchen we had before, it was just way too small to do anything in. We had like such little counter space available to us, which was also filled up with like dishes and appliances and all that stuff like we normally would have around anyway, right? So yeah, we just never really had much of a desire to cook then. But since we've been back here, we've already been cooking up a storm. We've made the pizzas, we made the steak tacos before. We've of course made the fudge. And also we want to make more stuff beyond that, and we plan to. We want to get stuff to make salt pretzels again. He has stuff he wants to get to make pumpkin pancakes as well, and then we also want to expand our horizon of cooking stuff there as well. So plenty more stuff to do on that front there. And I think that was all I wanted to go over. Yeah, whatever favorite food, favorite meals, cooking in general, Food Network, and all that stuff there. So yeah, and also nice good half-hour length here. So, with all that said, before I sign off for the day, what are some of your favorite foods? Anything you have that you always go to for a nice snack, or a dinner, or a dessert? Anything that you loved having growing up that you made today, or can still have access to? Anything you like to watch on, Food Network or YouTube there? Please let me know. And with all that said, guys, this has been Mr. Moosey7 signing off. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.